right. So, like I said, now beef settled, beef squashed. I was like, been over a week, a couple, and some change. More, we done got farther away from it. It's pretty decisive who won. I was like, to me, I felt a little bit closer than most people, but and then not. I was like, people think it's a straight up washing. Uh, Drake, and I can't even fully disagree with those people. I was like, that's out one how you feel and stuff like that. Whereas me, like I said, I think it was out of a 7 game series. I think it went six, and I think that the sixth game was pretty much was a blowout. I know, so I was like, I may have revised a little bit. I still said it was 6 games, but now I'm just like, no, maybe the sixth game is a blowout. Um, I was like, it was there, but uh, I was like, my still to right now, I was like, I still, I love Family Matters. Uh, don't get me wrong, I was like, I do like not like us. I was like, I like that. Um, I like Meet the Gram was just one of those like tough one where it was just like it's like one of those people that's like like you roasting them and you joking with them and it's like they just tell you that hey, your daddy ain't love you and your mama forgot you in JC Penney's because you would never want it. You'd be like, whoa, what? Like why? Like I just was wanting to say that your head was lopsided. That's why your glasses are crooked. And it's like, well, I was like, your family tree should have been burned from the roof. It's like, oh, okay, all right, thank you. I was like, I was like, but I did like this. I like the 616 as well too in LA. Uh, yeah, no, I was like, I didn't have any problem. I was like, there was no song that was really lacking. But in saying all that stuff, cause I already done did like that is I don't know, maybe like what we learned from the beef, or maybe it's stuff that I've noticed throughout the beef, at the end of the beef, and all these other things. Just me. Um, is one, I was like, a lot of y'all really don't like Drake, and in a bigger way than it would have seemed a while back. Um, and the reason I say that is because I think before this, I was like, yes, there are people that love Kendrick, there are people that like Drake, you know, J. Cole, um, and whatnot. I was like, but I'm like, y'all were playing Drake music. Now all of a sudden y'all like with it. Um, there was stuff about Drake like this beforehand, so I was like, to me, I like Kendrick didn't really bring anything new to light than before. I was like, it really just he just really just made a hit song with it. Whereas I'm like, okay, but I was like, the stuff that Drake was saying, nobody like that wasn't a thought, speculation, and then nobody seemed to care. Which I'm kind of like, okay, like I'm not saying that this is worse than the he say she say of Drake over here, but the fact that y'all don't care already just tells me one, y'all just ain't like this dude here, and also y'all really love Kendrick. Uh, I mean, it's like, and the thing, like, like how there's some people that that can get away with stuff than the other people. And not saying like in a way of like they got power, nothing like that, but it's just like, that person can say a joke and it's like everybody can laugh. And then like this other person says a joke and you just over here just looking like what you doing? Like, like or what? Like like we all sort of know that person. They don't have the same backing or the same feel saying that than somebody else does. Um, I like I was like, to me, I think some of the populists or the people, I was like I was like, and then I was like, this is totality even for both sides of that. A lot of y'all are like bots are just fake out here because I was like, the amount that I'm like, a lot of y'all was on Drake, and I was like, now all of a sudden y'all like, I never really liked that guy. I was like, it was always something off about him and all this other stuff, and I'm like, yeah, okay, cool, but I was like, normally we like y'all control all this stuff. Y'all could have been got this dude out the paint if you ain't feel him like that, like. But except for y'all did, y'all was rocking with the song, y'all was rocking with the music, like y'all, like like y'all were here for it. Now all of a sudden you just like, oh man, like I knew it, or Kendrick real like killed him, and it's like, and it's not, and it's the thing is like it's not that I'm saying that he didn't. It's listening to everybody else. I was like, are you saying that because you actually heard what he was saying, and or are you saying that because it's already just justifying what you already was like at, like basically, like how like in sports they give you like they like look at the stats, look at the analytics and all that other stuff, but all people really do is just get the stuff to back up their case, and it's like to where it's like now you just coming up with stuff just to make sure that your stuff sounds good, which is like fine. That's what like that's what the numbers there for. But if that's all we're doing, then we really just came to the same place. Is that you either on this camp or you're in this camp, and there ain't nothing that changes. Like I was like, look, the stuff I was like, obviously the allegations that Kendrick threw at Drake a lot more serious than what Drake threw at Kendrick. That's what it is. But in saying that, is that if we just go on bar for bar lyrics on the song, look, I was like, Drake was over here rapping his ass off. And I seen some people that was just like, I didn't know he could do that. And I was like, I don't know how you didn't think that he could do that. Like he got away from it a lot, and I was like, and that's where I do understand a lot of people with Drake. Cause I was like, that's where like old Drake, I was like, that was sort of like my dude, old Drake, where it's just like, so far gone, all the other stuff, like a lot of people will say. And it's not that it's like you could be an artist, you could do all these other stuff and stuff like that too, but it's like there'd be like so many lapses in his stuff that when he jokes at Kendrick for like you don't show up to rap, like we had to wait another like 3-5 years or whatever like that. It's like we sort of do with you too, because I was like, you come out, you make songs and you make records and stuff, but you rapping, I was like, that's far in between sometimes. Like yes, you go do it here and there in the song on your album, whatever like that, but far in between. Um, but to be honest, Drake was never going to win this situation. He was never going to win it. There was no way. Like I don't care what you say about like views and all the other stuff and stands. There was nothing he could like. I'm not saying that there was nothing he can do, but he would have had to say that stuff about Kendrick that got said about him in order for him to really win, to be honest, or to do something and like overturn this whole thing. You gotta think about it. Kendrick for what? Like he had been he had I was like he'd been the top before he was even before he was even really doing like before Section 80. I was like, you see his freestyle stuff like that, you already sort of heard the buzz and hype around him and stuff like that. Yet alone when he started doing all his stuff where it's like uh overly dedicated and Section 80 and all that other and then everything. And then he hit it with the banger album of Good Kid, Mad City and whatnot. But I was like but once he did sort of the I was like his second album, it's escaping me right now, but To Pimp a Butterfly, and he did the Black Panther album. Guess what he done solidify himself is? Black Jesus. I was like, he's Jordan. Like think about all the people over here being like trying to be like LeBron better, LeBron this, LeBron that, and everybody like Jordan, but LeBron Jordan. that's what Kendrick is. Kendrick is that where it's like I ain't really like the Pimp Butterfly. It's like you don't like greatness, Jordan. Like that's really what it is. Um, I was like, you get because I was like, I don't think Drake was too crazy and what he was sort of saying of like how he was like he hit also like those albums and that stuff also hit at a good time as well too because of all the political stuff that's going on where they got to be banging. But guess what? His music is the one that got chosen for that. And I was like, that's also where you was never gonna win Drake. I was like, he had the music for the time and being an activist, all that other stuff. Whether you think is phony or what, he got that stamp. You like the only thing that Drake really could have done here, and I think that if it wasn't for the OVO and A minor and all that stuff, and I mean not and also Meet the Ground and stuff like that. But let's be honest, the one that's going to be the TikTok, the internet, the memes, and all that other stuff. Cause that's how Kendrick really killed him. Like everybody think, like yeah, he destroyed him on Meet the Ground, but he killed him with Not Like Us. Yes, they're different. Cause I was like, he destroyed him. I was like, we're just like, oh man. But you can still like you gotta do some work. But I was like, you go away for a minute. And I was like, you come back up, and everybody's like, remember that time that Drake lost to Kendrick? Not Like Us is like that lived on forever. Cause the thing is, Meet the Grams. Everybody want to talk about it, but I was like, and I was like, this stuff has been great, like in the moment, in the time, and stuff like that. But I was like, and I don't think that you need a song to be a hit or a bop in order for the disc to mean something or nothing like that. I'm just saying it enhanced it. I'm saying that's the difference between uh, you going and eating at a buffet and your grandma cooking stuff for Thanksgiving. Which one you going to? We all know what. Cause one of them got that extra layer of like damn in it. No pun intended with Kendrick, but that's how it is. That's what that was, and that's the stuff that's gonna live on forever. That's the stuff of the internet. And the thing is, I was like, to me, Drake should be getting a lot of. I'm not gonna necessarily respect because I was like the other stuff is what everybody's sort of saying like why they don't like Drake, didn't like Drake, whatever you want to say, of him being like phony, to put on this facade and all this other stuff. But and so I'm like, I'm not gonna even say that he that's his respect, but it's applause or at least of like damn you try like basically you, like he's 7 foot right there and you over here 6'3" and you try to dunk on him. You know, it's like damn. You tried though. Good job. Good job. Like we can't even get like nobody gonna even give him a good job. When I think I'm like he should at least get that. I mean, hell, one just going up with Kendrick, everybody like pseudo facto boogeyman. Then yet alone actually, I think like going at him, dabbing him, trying to like get him to come outside. He came outside and he was ready for. Um, but like for instance, like how I said, Family Matters. I don't think that's going to get the properness that it needs. Just because Kendrick came out with basically his beat, his bop, his clap back. Um, I was like, in saying that, I was like, I don't like. To me, Kendrick didn't really make any. I was like, uh, mistakes in what he did and all like that. I think the only thing I think Drake really did with his is really that Family Matters. I was like, he really thought that that was really it, so he didn't have really anything left again. Which I'm like, he should have had something. He like that was his mistake. Is that especially who Kendrick is, Kendrick was going to always keep coming back. Even if it didn't land, he was going to come back with something else. And he's just going to come back with something else. And he's just going to come back with something else. Drake didn't have nothing else after that. But I also think that because Family Matters three separate things, where maybe he should have did it at three, like almost like how he set the other one up. He should have set them up and let them be that, or just have another thing going on in general. Um, Also with that, him splitting up, he probably should have, just because like that middle piece was going at everybody else in the 20v1, and he probably should have did the Kendrick stuff and then have that be a side separate piece where he drops something else and it's like cool. When we listen to that, we're like, oh, that's for all them other ones. But then when he got the, cause it was really, it's like it was like a sandwich. But he should have had that. He should have had this Kendrick stuff, and then he released that for something else instead of joining together. Just because he was at a disadvantage, which is also telling me that y'all also hate Drake. Which, I mean, so does everybody else, because it's rare you see somebody get ganged up on and nobody at all is defending him or feeling like that was wrong. Everybody's like, all right, well, let me jump in. That's, like, that's a problem. That, don't get me wrong. That means that I was like, also Drake, like, on one hand, it's like everybody coming after you, which is kind of like on one side of it's kind of like, damn, are you the boogeyman? If everybody wants to try to get you up out of here, but also, what the hell you be doing? What I mean, I Core Kendrick alluded to some of the stuff, but it's like, yo, you be doing some stuff out here that really is like must be breaking some bro code, breaking some street code, breaking some code codes or something like that from all different area codes or whatever. Cause everybody coming after you. That's wild, dog. That's wild. Um, yeah, no. So I was like, for it to be a 20v1, how basically that's crazy. Um, yeah, no. So that was in itself. Also, in saying all that, the attitudes of both people, like, yes, can we say that? But they do either one like each other? No, they don't like each other. But Drake was out here to shoot near your house. Kendrick was trying to go up in your house and get you. Like, you it's the whole thing of trying to like fighting somebody that wants to fight. That's that, and you not wanting to fight or ready to fight. Nope. Nope. Say that for somebody else. Nah, nope. That's a different mindset. That's a different level. And we seen it. Now Kendrick over here, like you crazy? You crazy? Nah, I'm insane. Like that was a difference. And I think that was a miscalculation by Drake. That was a miscalculation by Drake. Um, I like so also into thinking about it too. I was like, I mean, yes, while Kendrick said it a mole and Drake's whole camp thing and like that, and Drake sort of insinuated the same thing. Which I mean, obviously, I was like, I could sort of see a little bit from both. I was like, just out here, just rumors and stuff. It does seem a little weird. Like before when it was sort of starting, I was kind of thinking, I was like, yo, could this have been like what was it like? What was it? Kanye and Drake, where they were doing that fake beef towards each other, stuff like that. Was it? No, I know it was Kanye, or was it Kanye and 50? Ah man, I can't remember right now. But that's what I was sort of thinking of. Then I was thinking that I was like, okay, you know, Drake don't have like the other kid, okay, that we know of. But also too, that I was like, yes, I know the stuff on the internet with the whole Drake stuff, uh, the the pro the P stuff, but also Kendrick only way to do that after, like later on into the battle, which made me think that I was like, I don't like if Drake never, thought about Dude Family, which Drake said that Kendrick started the whole thing with calling the kids into this. So I was like, where I'm like, well, if Kendrick did, then I was like, then Kendrick can also be mad when Drake did it. So whatever. Uh, is that when Kendrick was talking about like his camp, there were never any illusions or nothing like that. That he it waited until it was at the end, which means that I was like, yes, I know the stuff online and stuff like that, but I'm also like, I obviously it was. It's not that. It's not. Is it real? It's not that big of a deal. Like, what is it for you? You basically said like his people in his camp were basically just like using you and they ain't really your friends and stuff like that. But never anything to that level that makes me think like it. So now it just sounds like he just was saying that. Like I know that the whole thing about like Kendrick's like stealing his like lines and stuff from the internet, and I'm like maybe, probably so, cause I mean, like you on the internet all the time, and I was like, so you scrolling, you seeing what people talking about Drake before all this happened. And I'm just like, yeah, and then you put in a rap song, and the song is like the song that's like you could dance and stuff to. It's not like he necessarily put in like an actual, like when he was like meeting the ground and like that. So that doesn't really necessarily bother me, but I'm just like, I'm like, he could go online and see all that stuff. Be like, oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna say that for later because guess what? That's a death blow, and that's what he did, and that's sort of what a death blow. But yeah, I was like, in all this, I was like, it still seems a little bit fishy. I'm now not fishy in a way where it's like coming on a tour. It's them two. Like, no, not that, not like that. I was like, and I was like, but not the fishy in the way of like people have people in camps and stuff like that. It was just that did they? I was like, of course this was rap beat, so you can say whatever, and it's just being said, and then guess what? We're gonna just sort of just and it'll go away at some point or whatever. We won't care, especially nowadays and with the internet and stuff. Uh, but it just feels like it was like okay, cool stuff just being said, and I was like, and that's where also Kendrick won because it just seemed like a lot of y'all don't mess with Drake, and that's why y'all are easy able to be like, "Yep, Kendrick right on everything he says." And it's like, what about Kendrick? I mean, what about Drake? What about him? But I have seen what I'm surprised about is that what Drake had. I was like, don't get me wrong, Kendrick had done a lot more to get at Drake, where it's like don't have your family around, don't have the kid. LeBron don't have your kids around, Spencer don't have your kids around him, and all that other stuff. Like hide your friend, hide your wife, that whole thing. But I have seen more people than I thought that it is slandering Kendrick, but is talking about him in a way of like who be bumping his music. That's that like J. Cole sort of started this too with the whole Pimp Butterfly was like man, and your last one was trash kind of thing. But it's like who be bumping Kendrick music? Who be bumping this stuff here? I was like, and then you see like the thing is that Drake's stands are really groupies, and Kendrick stands are really bullies. Like Drake fans are like oh my god, like it's like how we sort of make fun of Drake, where like Kendrick fans like you dumbass. You don't you. I'm like you need to read a book, read a encyclopedia. You can't understand these bars. You can't even understand what he's saying. You can't understand the entendre, the end, the window, the double, 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 triple, triple, triple. Nah, you like triple, 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 triple. Like nah, like you stupid. That's what you is. You don't even know what that is. Go do some history. Go look back. Go look it up. Go and it's like I just want to hear it go. I don't want to hear it go bar without having to research. It's like yeah, cause you dummy. I was like over here. I was like, can't even do AP calculus with your dumb ass. And you'd be like, why I get all that? Why I get all that? So I like, but I have been surprised at the amount of people that have sort of like not, and it's not even being on Drake's side and nothing like that. It's really just sort of like saying some shit about Kendrick, to be honest, or be like, he cool, he dope, but y'all need to calm down. And I'm like, that's how I sort of feel like all y'all like, yo, you can say Kendrick bodied him, and also be like, yeah, but Drake also did have a little heat. I was like, now if you just don't like Drake, I understand. That's a little different. But I'm like, nah, Drake was spitting, but he also did his version of his stuff, where like Kendrick was doing his version with Euphoria and the 616 and the beats and stuff. But anyway, this will probably be another point because I was like, somebody will come up with something that we'll talk about or whatever like that. Like I said, we don't care about any of the stuff that's allegations were talked about with Kendrick. So what does it matter? I was like, yeah, that's why we all know that Drake lose. Also, I guess J. Cole, Wall, everybody giving you apologies for being like, hey, you didn't want to step into this. Good for you. And I was like, sure. But at the same time, you could have still stepped in and did something. Like you could have you could have gave some tracks. Yeah, I'm still not over that damn apology, to be honest. But hey, I was like, unless I got something else, or unless they drop some more tracks, which I doubt, or somebody else got some thing pieces, we'll see. Till then, I mean, hopefully. Peace out.